So, all right. So this video is going to be on this whole. I saw this. It says I saw this on Twitter, and it's basically a Zoom link for parents of. It says parents of color updated in for it's a new Zoom link for parents of color and Zoom link for white parents. Now, this is segregation, obviously, and things like this just doesn't they don't make sense to me. So it says, looking back at the police brutality and violence that is going on in our country and the communities, and even after the verdict of Derek Chauvin and the number of other young black or murder of another young black female, it is very necessary to have a space for our families to discuss and process. Now, I'm gonna let you guys read the rest of that, but the issue that I have here is it says a Zoom link for parents of color. It's an updated Zoom link, and then you have a Zoom link for white parents. That would be segregation. Now, if anyone thinks that this is anything other than segregation, that's a problem. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go down to a text message conversation I had with a friend of mine that she's a white female and has mixed kids or whatever. Now, this is what she says. She knows I'm doing this, by the way. Okay, it says I sent her the actual picture of that, and I said that's segregation. She says, if that's your interpretation of it. And I say, in response, separating people to participate in things by race is segregation. Says, I guess I look at it as if this was a starting point. Before they bring everyone together as a group. We don't know if the panel leading the talks is mixed ethnicity or not. So I guess I didn't assume the same, but I understand your stance. I took it as the safe place for folks to ask questions that may have otherwise caused folks to get loud and upset, thus not allowing the forum to move forward. I said the safe place is everyone talking together. No one should not be allowed to say things due to other people being in the room. That is not equality. She says, I get it. As a white person, I'd be afraid of some stupid redneck saying something way out of line and starting something that shouldn't have to happen. I say a racist black person can say something stupid and out of line as well. I said equality means you should be worried that either person that worried about someone white or black saying something stupid and out of line. And that's the truth. A lot of people, even white people, want to sit back or not even white people, but white people want to say, well, I'm worried about someone of my race saying something loud and out of line. Well, that's not equality if you're only worried about somebody of your race saying something out of line. Everyone should be worried about anyone saying something out of line. So a white person should be worried about a black person saying something loud and out of line. A black person should be worried if a white person says something loud and out of line, or a black person saying something loud and out of line, or Hispanic or whatever. That's true equality right there. Is to say, hey, I'm worried about anyone saying something loud and out of line. Now, what I have a problem with is a lot of these people, these what I would say race hustlers and stuff like that have these gender studies and African American studies degree that are holding these positions and saying that we're going to separate people into groups. And this is one of those things. When you separate people into different groups, you can control the narrative better. You can say what the other group intended to say and what the other group that you're talking about, or both groups, you can say what they're intending to say. Why don't you have both of these groups come in and talk together? Because if you're really trying to solve a problem, you would have a round table of good discussion of it all. And if one group decides that they're going to be loud and obnoxious and stuff like that, that says a lot about that group, doesn't it? And though that group should not be part of the conversation. So to sit back and say, well, we're going to have separate. We're going to have separate groups and separate everything. That right there is segregation. You're segregating people into groups according to their immutable characteristics. That's what you're doing. And like I said, it's even more devious in the fact that to sit back and say and have people be in two different groups. You're talking to these two different groups that don't get to hear from one another except through you. You're the mediator. And this is not even, I don't know if you can really even say this is mediation, because in a lot of these situations where there is a mediator or someone in between, for the most part, you'll have someone that's there, but both groups are in the same room, is what I'm getting at. If both groups are in the same room, then okay. But these people are going to be the go-between between these two groups. And that's not good. Because those people that are the go-between are the people that can control the narrative. They can say what the other people mean, or this is what they mean to say. They can say they can say that, well, this group didn't mean it that way, or this group meant it that way. That's not good. And this should never be the case. So we got to stop the segregation. I'm hoping that I put my thoughts really well in that video as far as I'm concerned. But we've got to get to the point that we can actually start having a conversation. And like I said before in previous videos, when people talk about a conversation about race, we already know that when they say a conversation about race, it's not about conversation. It's about sit down, Whitey. Let me tell you all about how bad you are. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one. All right.